So I'm listening to, here, let me pause it right now. It's on YouTube. His channel is called The Scariest Movie Ever. I've been following him for a while. He puts out some good stuff here and there sometimes. This one is called It Was Always About the Aftermath, Not the Event, 2020. So I'm at 55 minutes and 11 seconds. And he just talked about, I guess there's articles out there saying that there's a bunch of places digging mass graves, and it immediately made me think of around, what was it, 2011, 2010. There were stories going around about the FEMA black coffins, just piles and piles and rows and columns of these gigantic 4-body sized black plastic coffins. And then that was also around the time where, you know, FEMA camps was a huge big talk in the truther community. Excuse me. So I'm gonna pause this and see what else this podcast turns into, because I got a lot of stuff on my mind, but I'm at so much peace right now and having such a relaxing night that I don't want to get too hyped up on any topics. So this is gonna be just a random podcast, not so random, a bit localized on what we're all going through right now, all across the plane, you know. So let's find out and let's see what tonight might bring. Yo, actually, this is quite terrifying if you're a non-believer. If you actually went to that video, he's pulling up, let's see, what is this? gulfnews.com/photos/news/COVID -19-new-mass-graves, blah 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 blah. These are supposedly being dug in New York, and Holocaust, Hitler, wake the fuck up, people. Dude, for real? Like, this could be terrifying if you don't have Jesus. Yup. Yeah, check this out. Alright, let's see what else we got tonight. Just so wicked, you know? Like, when you begin to open your eyes at the wickedness, it gets really nasty, man. So Iran has it too. I'm just gonna let this keep on going for a second, because he's moving pretty quick. Drone video shows inmates digging mass burial graves on New York's Hart Island. Huh. Okay, so inmates on New York's Hart Island digging mass graves. Dude. Mass graves dug at Chislehurst Cemetery as coronavirus death. Chislehurst Cemetery? Okay, I get the point. Hold on, let me pause it. No, I ain't even gonna pause it. Yeah, I'm gonna pause it. Yeah. The video. So, okay, so where did this plane come from? Who's pushing this directive? Who is giving out these orders to dig these mass graves? That's where we need to focus. If he doesn't in this video, we're gonna try to find that out. Maybe. Depending on how the night goes. Mass graves in Brazil as well. If you got a computer handy, type in mass graves 2020. See what comes up. All right, listen to this. This is a nurse.
Great goodness, it is 8:42 New York time, and I got to my regular unit, and they took my patient away, my black guy. And now I'm getting switched units. This is exactly what happened before at the other hospital. As soon as I told somebody, and like, like management and tried to advocate for my patient. They take the patient away from me and then they move me. So like I legitimately don't even know what to do anymore. Like even the advocacy groups don't give a shit about these people. Like literally, like Black lives don't matter here. And I mean, that's pretty sad that somebody who is white and lives hundreds of miles away from the city gives more of a shit about these people than the actual people in this city. Like, for real. Like, I had a complete breakdown yesterday because, you know, I missed an important email to do a revision on my proposal, so my proposal got canceled because I was trying to advocate for my patient and talk to management here and get the care that he needs because he's being medically mismanaged. And I just had a complete fucking breakdown because, you know what, my entire proposal got canceled because I, you know, wasted my time advocating for a fucking patient who's just gonna die anyway. You know, and sure enough, they take the patient away from me, and then almost 2 hours into the shift, they switch me units. This is exactly what happened at the other hospital when I was advocating.
Okay, you know what? I don't think that she's talking about the virus. Let me see. She explained that we're not even treating. Okay, I'm trying to get to where she's talking about it. So she is. So thanks for your patience. I want to make sure. I guess she's just kind of.
I feel like.
Giving us a lead in, so.
Hold on, I gotta pause this because I've seen so many videos since this COVID stuff started about how certain doctors from very high up positions above them were being forced to include COVID onto death certificates, and that's where we're getting all these numbers from. Even if they just merely had any type of, if they test positive on the test, which had 8 out of 10 false positives. So I don't know, some trickery is afoot, and at the very least, this nurse is this is an anecdote. Well, this nurse just pretty much explained how these nurses and doctors have no say on how they treat their patients. And I don't know, the rabbit hole gets really nasty when you start really looking into this COVID drama. So let's see what else we find.
Guys, here's the thing.
All right, so she's still going.
Let me put things into context for you. Okay, I know not everybody's gonna live. I'm not that fucking green or ignorant or, you know, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed to think that, okay? I know we're gonna have a shit ton of people die. But these people aren't dying from COVID. Let me give you several examples here.
Listen.
An anesthesiologist intubated the patient's, like, I think it was right bronchi and of a patient, and they couldn't get the sats up, and for about 5 hours, like, we were waiting on a chest x-ray to confirm that the placement was wrong. And in the meantime, while we're waiting for that, we've told the anesthesiologist that it was placed wrong because, like, literally only one side of his fucking chest is, like, inflating. He dies. Okay? A patient had a heart rate of 40, and the resident starts doing chest compressions on him, which is not what you do. You just externally pace them, or you know, give him some atropine. And then, you know, I run in there to stop him from doing chest compressions on somebody with a fucking pulse. And then he decides to push epi. He throws some pads on him to defibrillate the guy in bradycardia. Okay, he has a heart rate of 40 in a stable, you know, bradycardic rhythm. We just need to give him some atropine and pace him. He fucking defibrillates him and kills him.
Wow.
And I was literally ran out of, like, the patient's room to get, like, the director of nursing who was standing out there. And I'm like, can you stop him? He's going to kill that patient. He's going to kill that patient if he defibrillates him with bradycardia and a heart rate of 40. And the director of nursing just shook his head.
Nurses have
and I
no
turned
say,
around,
man.
and he killed the dude. Okay? There was a nurse who placed an NG tube into some guy's lungs and filled his lungs with tube feeding. There was a nurse who confused a long-acting insulin with a short-acting insulin and gave 30 units of.
And while I listen to this, you know, I in the back of my mind, I picture all these images of the dancing nurses, you know?
Fast-acting insulin and killed the guy.
I mean, while stuff like this is happening in the hospitals, just one example of some of the, and I've shown you guys other examples of nurses, you know, losing their jobs, not even having work anymore because the hospitals are shutting down or were, and just wanting room for the patients, you know, the C-19 patients that never showed. So lots of nurses have suffered through this as well, but we still get the videos of the dancing nurses, you know.
Other stuff have I seen? Yeah.
Anyway, that's good. It's like 20 minutes long. I just want to share some of that with you. Well, then there's this. You guys may have seen this. A lot of people have been talking about it. Melinda Gates went on the Today Show, and she was, of course, pushing for the global vaccine while wearing an upside-down cross. Unbelievable, but not really. You know, this goes back to, you know, something I talked about here on the channel for a long time, but you know, everything's being revealed. You know, I even said that that's the ultimate secret. Once that comes out, that all these people are Luciferian, and all these people are worshiping the devil, like that's the big secret they've been trying to keep for so long, because that ties into everything, the child stuff, kidnapping.
Okay, yeah, I wanted to stop at I wanted to give him a chance to kind of speak, because I do like a lot of stuff that this person puts out on YouTube, the scariest movie ever. All right, let's see what else we find throughout the night. So I guess there's a lot of inmates that are being released due to this pandemic, or whatever you want to call it, you know. That's interesting because it makes me think of the beasts of the field, you know, being let out. I don't know. Maybe that's too far out there of a thought, but that's interesting. I'm gonna have to restart this. This is gonna be good. I can already tell. This is Derek Price Ministries. And let me turn it up a little bit though. There we go. Let's see what this is all about.
I run into quite a lot of people today who want to claim to be prophets, but I'm not sure that they're following the scriptural pattern, because there's nothing very glamorous about being a prophet according to the Bible. It's painful. It means isolation, persecution. I preached once in Africa, in Ghana, on the ministries of the body, apostles, prophets, evangelists. I had an audience of, I think, 3,000 people, mostly young men. It was wonderful. So after I dealt with the ministry of the apostle for quite a while, I said, how many of you would like to be apostles? Does anybody have an NIV here that I can borrow from someone close to me? I'll get it back, I promise. Thank you very much. So a lot of them put their hands up. I said, wait a moment. Let me read you the job description before you apply. And I turned to 1 Corinthians chapter 4, which is very vivid in the NIV. This is what it says. I think it applies really to the contemporary charismatic people. I used to call it the charismatic movement, but I don't, because I don't think it's moving anywhere. It was, but it's got bogged down somewhere. All right, this is 1 Corinthians chapter 4, beginning at verse 8. Already you have all you want, addressed to the Corinthian Christians. Already you have become rich. They've had the full gospel. Did you ever hear the perversion of the full gospel businessmen's movement, which is the full businessmen's gospel movement? Oh dear, I love those brothers. I've spoken for them many times. But you have become kings, and that without us. How I wish that you really had become kings, so that we might be kings with you. For it seems to me that God has put us apostles on display at the end of the procession, like men condemned to die in the arena. We have been made a spectacle to the whole universe, to angels as well as to men. We are fools for Christ, but you are so wise in Christ. We are weak, but you are strong. You are honored, we are dishonored. To this very hour, we go hungry and thirsty. We are in rags. We are brutally treated. We are homeless. We work hard with our own hands. When we are cursed, we bless. When we are persecuted, we endure it. When we are slandered, we answered kindly. Up to this moment, we have become the scum of the earth, the refuse of the world. That's the New Testament description of a prophet, of an apostle. If you want the description of what it's like to be a prophet, I think you can find it in Hebrews, since we're there. Hebrews. Hebrews chapter 11, the last 2 verses. This is the prophetic ministry. They were stoned, they were sawn in two, that was Isaiah. They were put to death by the sword. They went about in sheepskins and goatskins, destitute, persecuted, and ill-treated. The world was not worthy of them. They wandered in deserts and mountains and in caves and holes in the ground. How many want to be prophets? What's needed? I didn't hear you. Endurance, that's right. We'll go on now with which we were reading here. We'll go back to verse 10 of James 5. My brethren, take the prophets who spoke in the name of the Lord as an example of suffering and patience, not an example of glamour, but of suffering. Indeed, we count them blessed who endure. You have heard of the perseverance, notice that word, of Job, and seen the end intended by the Lord. That the Lord is very compassionate and merciful. If you go through those verses, you'll find the theme is patience, perseverance, endurance. And that's the pattern for the people of God who are preparing for the return of the Lord. I have to say that I preach these words to myself as much as to anybody here. But I tremble often when I hear the irresponsible way in which people are talking today about ministries and gifts. It's tough to have a ministry in the body of Christ. The more harm you do the devil, the more he'll fight against you. If you're not prepared for conflict and agony, just resign.
There you go.
Why
Amen.
did we stuff Reese's Take 5?
Hey, no, I don't think so. No AIDS. Yeah, that was good stuff. I needed that. What about y'all? Did that resonate with y'all? Anybody? I definitely felt it. All right, let's see what's next for this night. I hope I didn't ear blast anybody with that song. Wow, I have to put. Okay, this is about to get real. I'm just gonna straight out the horse's mouth. I'm just gonna play this. This is from Veritas Radio. I hope I can say his name right. Cyrus Parsa. AI colon the plan to control and enslave the human race is the title of the video. It's from the channel Veritas TV. I think this is going to be way too much for me to be able to summarize, so here we go.
And the weaponization of robotics with 5G. His website is the
This is how we move information, you know. This is how we move honest information. Anyway, okay, here we go.
Welcome to Veritas. How are you?
Hello, Mel in the audience. Thank you for inviting me. I'm doing well.
May I call you Cyrus?
Please do.
Thank you. And by the way, what is the AI organization first? And what was your motivation in founding this institution?
Well, the AI organization, its goal is to protect humanity from the misuse of artificial intelligence, biotechnology stemming from China and our big tech companies. It's a long story. I'll shorten it. So originally I was born in Iran. We were not Muslim. We were persecuted. So we left the country in 1987. I lived in the East Coast for about 6-7 years, 10 years in the Midwest, and I've been in California for 16, 17 years. I lived in China with fighting Wudang monks for almost a year. And in 2002, I finished a book called Better People, Better World, or actually Incomplete Humans, Incomplete World. And the subtitle was The Book to Save and Change and Better World. And the book had about 800 pages in it and 100 different subchapters. I foresaw the future that the whole world would be in danger via China and it's all this interconnection. So I wanted to prevent those things, and I realized I couldn't. No one took me seriously. You don't have a degree. So I went on and I got a BS in international security and a master's degree in homeland security, a PhD, which I didn't finish. In 2017, I formed the Loyal Guardian Security, which is China intel against communism, anything that deals with China, in addition to Iran and Homeland Security. 2018, I formed the AI organization. And that was particularly is multifaceted. There was multiple reasons for that. But the main reason was I feared the world's people are in danger. And I thought, well, how do I really relay this information to everybody? And I research, investigate China and other big tech companies for almost 20 years. So what I did was concretely investigate about 1,000 companies related to AI, robotics, biometrics, cybernetics, and 500 were Chinese. And last year about this time, I gave a brief to the Secret Service. It was a 5-page brief. It stated that if within 1 year, maximum 2 years, if China and our big tech companies are not curtailed, that they endanger all the world's citizens, including enslavement, with AI and microbiologic terrorism. Microbiologic terrorism is a term I coined that covers not only little insect drones, which I can go over, not only nanotechnology, but also viruses that are almost invisible, that can penetrate the White House, Congress, or the whole world, which is exactly what's happened. Then this summer, I gave a final report to the foreign director of CIA cover-ups, 62 pages, and that summed up China threatens all the world's citizens with AI, bioengineering, cybernetics, biological warfare, and all the different things. And this report had about 41 companies, which 28 of them the Trump administration banned. And I waited and waited until about late August 24th, I published AI, Trump, China, and the weaponization of robotics of 5G. I felt the world people were in danger, and I didn't include any company names. So in the synopsis, even on Amazon, if you go look, it says China and big tech threaten all the world's citizens, and everything was in there. Everything that's happening today and the future. I found extinction codes for the majority of the human race in stages for the next 20 years. And this is something you can ask me about. So I try to get, I put it out on Twitter and everywhere. My information went to everywhere. Within 3 weeks, President Trump was sitting down with the Prime Minister of Australia. And he says, China threatens all the world's citizens. Exactly.
I really hope that's not too loud.
And then he takes up my book. Well, not my book, but he says, you do robotics too, right? He asked that because the book cover had not only a robot on it, but it had President Trump's head attached to George Washington, riding a horse that represents the Constitution. And then above the robot, there was a smartphone with coding, represents how the entire human race is being programmed, what I call biodigital social programming, something we can get into. And next to it is Karl Marx's head, showing that Karl Marx is connecting to China and communism and our big tech, and it's going to enslave the entire world on that platform, which creates extinction for the entire human race in stages. Then it had the whole smart
Jesus in
city
the back of your
in the
mind.
book cover. It took me
Keep
100 plus
Jesus in
hours
the back of your
to create this
mind.
book cover. The grid system, the Internet of Things, and all those different things. And the subtitle said, China and big tech petting all the world's citizens to the human biological network, and so on and so on, and then why the world needs to support the Trump administration against China's regime. Because I'm telling the world all the stuff is going to happen. So I was insulted and ignored by most of the left. Half of the conservatives, probably the same. A lot of smart people from certain media and other agencies just took things they understood and they plagiarized it. But I couldn't get my word out to warn anybody. So I think it was mid-October. NTTV is a Chinese outlet. They ran my report on Hong Kong, how the females were actually not suicides. They were raped by the paramilitary forces, by the Communist Party of China, who were embedded within the Hong Kong police. And it blew up. 1 million views within 3 hours. Millions came to my website, and then it reached 100 million people within the Chinese networks. Then I published Artificial Intelligence Danger to Humanity a few years later, hoping the news outlets pick it up. And within 10 days, Trump's AI department says China threatens all the world's citizens with AI, bioengineering, and all the things I put out in the book as well. Because AI Trump was embedded within the book Artificial Intelligence Danger to Humanity. In that book, I released 50 of the major companies, include Google, even Elon Musk companies, and some important figures in there, which is Bill Gates, and how the interconnection of all these people and the companies are threatening all the world's citizens, not just enslavement, but extinction in stages as it connects to China. So I try to run a press release to the senators and Congress people and all the media outlets in America and the world. And they approve of it, then they deny it last minute. And they say, your book, Artificial Intelligence Danger to Humanity, is slanderous to big tech in China. And I had this in writing. So, and then they don't allow it. So I go to another press company, which is connected to PR Newswire. They run the book, but I had to revise it a little bit, revise the synopsis, and just be really, really fair. Oh, there's no threat, or sort of revise it. So that gets through, but it didn't get to any of the main people. It wasn't a real press release. It was just an online digital release, all it was. And then I went to run The Whole World is in Danger via China, big tech, to Huawei, and all the things I wanted to say. All your lives are in danger. And that outlet approved it. But PR Newswire caught it and stopped them. And I got it in writing saying that we can't say this. This is against China, blah, blah, blah. Then I tried another release, something about how Trump's life was in danger and his family and all other people through microbiotic terrorism, which comes from my book, and the world's people, actually. They denied that as well. So I found another PR Newswire, which is release, and they were able to release it, but didn't get anywhere. So I'm tweeting, and I'm like, okay, the whole world's about to be turned upside down. What do I do to get people to believe me? I run a lawsuit, which actually was an extract of my book, because I said in the future there will be a lot of lawsuits. And the lawsuit was against Google, Facebook, Neuralink, and I had 29 John Does, which included Chinese government and very big political figures. And the lawsuit stated endangering all the world's citizens. The coming AI systems, 5G systems, and biotechnology, which includes the virus, and so on, all these different things. And I think it reached maybe 100 million people via Twitter and different outlets, but people just took certain parts of it and didn't know where it came from, so I couldn't get help. I wanted to get donations so I can send hundreds of U.S. Marshals to serve these people to get media attention. I was tweeting at media saying, writing articles, you guys are being complicit something big is going to happen. The whole world's in danger. All you guys are endangering everyone's lives by not giving me a platform. You can see my tweets. It's all there. You can see my articles. They're all dated. Everything I'm saying is fact. And they still wouldn't do it. Not just liberals, conservatives. No media outlet in the world would cover me. So I wait and wait. I start doing videos, more articles. A few interviews picked me up. SGT report, X22 report, John B. Wells, Red Pill 78. Quite frankly, very, very small. And still, people don't get it. Then I release the John Does, which included World Bank, Obama, Pelosi, so many different outlets, including former directors of intel groups, saying they were negligent in just transfer. And the lawsuit covered 31 points with 42 penal codes, connecting everybody to city, state, national, international levels. One of the main premise was that they were complicit in not only organ harvesting of the Falun Dafa practitioners, Tibetans, Uyghurs, and Christian and common citizens, but they allowed our tech companies to transfer technology like Google and Eric Schmidt that aided in surveillance systems, even drone systems, facial recognition, voice recognition, that hunted people, tagged people, put them in camps, and killed people for the past 20 years. So that was two. The third one was AI coding and AI algorithmic manipulation of humanity's thoughts, even brain chemistry and emotions, as they engage with these smartphones on the 4G system. IoT's ecosystem of Facebook, Twitter, Google, and all these different things. And there's so many different ones as well. Threatening the entire human race, that was the main one. And that got more traction, but still no media would pick it up. And I didn't want to hurt these guys. I didn't want to point these guys out because I'm not for left or right. I just saw the whole human race was in danger. I wanted to do what I could. I worked 20 hours a day, 7 days a week. And once I did this, everyone that was with me when I did the lawsuit, they got so scared they disappeared. And just the people behind me stayed. So what do I do? Lockdown happens and the virus hits really hard. And this was February 24th when I released the John Does. And all I needed was donations. And I got $3,000 donation from the world's people before lockdown on a lawsuit on the behalf of the world's people. Now I don't want to create a civil war. I don't want to create a division because it's gone past. I was trying to warn the world's citizens that all your families are in danger, all your lives are in danger, not just from the virus, not just from enslavement, but from interconnection of things of conflicts, civil wars, starvation, the whole world. And I still couldn't do that much. I got through a lot of different places, but I'll stop there. I said a lot. I apologize.
No, that's fine. We'll come back to this because I wanted to know the chronology of events. I was not too aware of the specifics of your lawsuit. And I'm so glad that somebody as brave as you are in doing this. And it seems to me that with this lockdown, how timely it is for it to kind of be suspended or stay still for a while. Why do you think so many, whether it's left or right or media, mainstream or not, why do you think that so many people are against the truth that you're trying to convey?
This is a very deep concept. So from a small level, I would say people have either fear or they've been social engineered to not believe. Their minds and their wills are controlled from the media. And the media themselves, they're victims as well. So the news outlets, the reporters, they're victims. I put out articles and even my book, but the anchors, they're actually victims. So at a little higher level, it comes out to people's minds being controlled. So I came up with the concept of biodigital social programming. It's very, very sophisticated. In the past, people would look at television or newspapers, and their thoughts or their emotions or their beliefs would be led, whether it would be Stalin in Russia, the communist system there, whether it was Mao Zedong, the communist system there in China, or the socialist system under Adolf Hitler. People will move to do what they were told or what they would believe. But the age of artificial intelligence, 4G system, and these proximity sensors that attach to your smartphones, people are being completely controlled and they don't realize it. Let me explain what that means. So biodigital social programming. Bio covers your biology. It's a term I coined, biodigital social programming. Your cells, your blood, your bones, your skeleton, your muscles, even your skin receptors, all these cover biology, the word bio. Digital covers your neural networks, your nervous system, or if you believe in a faith, your soul or your consciousness or your spirit. Most people who are agnostic or a scientist would just consider a digital self, so that covers that. The next one is social. So biodigital social. Social is your emotions, your social network, or your social media, such as Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and so on. Programming is programming. So biodigital social program. The entire human race on the 4G network has undergone biodigital social programming as they engage with these smartphones, because these smartphones have proximity sensors on them. The proximity sensor, when the information comes to frequency, and the information it's transferred from whatever network it is, or a television station, or a website, Google, whatever it is, as it gets to your phone, the electrical field on the phone interconnects with it. That electrical field connects with your phone and your AI systems and your apps. That frequency and electrical field connects to your body's electrical field. And they have patents for this, okay? I'm not making this up. I did use biometric tools to discover these things, then I found patents. As it connects with your electrical field, it connects with your nervous system and your neural networks. So what Google has been doing is extracting your information, how your brain is formed, how your neural networks are formed, in order to create an artificial superintelligence through the quantum technology department, through Google AI. That was another thing I charged them with, because they didn't tell the human race that they were stealing all of their data, not just a social network, not their geolocation, their thoughts, how their brains are mapped. They were taking it without telling you. And that's against so many different penal codes I put in, called Nuremberg law. So while that's happening, not only is your thoughts being extracted, whatever information you're watching, you're being programmed. Even your brain chemistry is being altered. So when you go to bed, that is seeping in and playing into your brain. So that was what was happening, and this was my discovery. I found it using biometric tools. So, there was a huge problem between the people on the left and the right. Conservatives like Trump, and the negatives, the people on the left were really negative towards Trump. And if you look at before Trump became president, so people on the left generally liked him. And people who were really ultra-conservative didn't like him, because, he had casinos and he was entertainment and so on. As soon as he became president, it changed for some of the things he said. But there was an article I put out in the video I put out called "People Programmed to Attack Trump with AI, Smartphones, Social Media, and Google." And there was a term I saw after I put out this article, Trump the Raging Syndrome. Well, if you notice, some people, their emotions were so elated that they had above and beyond hatred. And that's because if they were neutral to him, the constant articles and all these videos pumped out by CNN, MSNBC, or any network that were negative was feeding into their emotions as it connected to proximity sensors to their nervous system and their neural networks. So when they went to bed, they would actually cycle within their brain chemistry. So it would alter their emotions to not only just be emotional towards POTUS, but to have anger and have negative emotions that carried in their lives every single day, that affect even their family relationships. That's the problem. So these smartphones are a weapon. They divide this country. And I found in my books I put in the report, CIA director, and all of the different things, that I found division codes meant to divide the human race, and it connects to certain different numerous algorithms that ends in cycles of extinction for human race in the next 20 years. So, I'm sorry, I may have gone a little bit too long or too deep on this little concept. I really want to listen to what you have to say.
That's fine. I just could not understand why so much hatred after Trump was elected. A lot of the same people in the media and Hollywood that hate him so much right now loved him so much before. And it's so interesting what you're saying, that perhaps it was the AI or Google, which controls 80% of the searches, and the media programming the people to hate so much.
A part of me wants to stop this, but it's like I can't. This is too meaty. I hope y'all are paying attention. Well, of course. Hell, y'all are still listening, huh? Here we go.
I just could not understand it, this whole Trump derangement syndrome. And, I was against the Gulf War against what Bush did. I was tired of him. Then I did not agree with Obamacare. So one thing is to disagree about things that are being done, and then you just go to the voting booth and make your feelings heard. Well, I know that a lot of people think that your vote doesn't count and they're selected, but that's a different story. But the extinction codes, can you please elaborate?
So I ran simulations. Every simulation I ran, whether it was in a geopolitical sector, whether it was on education, whether it was from tech, healthcare, everything connected to AI and connected to China. And from there started cycles of extinction for the human race. So basically, whatever it was, no matter what, that's why in my book, you'll see that I don't just talk about the viruses engineered by putting mixing humans and animals and using AI. I don't just use that. I put everything, drones, Facebook, it's like everything's coming today. So I show you the future. And, this may be too metaphysical. I don't know if I should in your show, but I guess I will a little bit. The reason why I wrote that book in 2002 was because I had you could say a vision, let's say a dream, a lucid dream. But I saw in 2002 in the future, a white man, blonde hair, blue eyes, he'd become president, and the whole world was attacking him, or half the world. And I didn't understand it. Even though white people were attacking white people. And in 2002, I was like, why would white be against white and black against black? It was almost like a civil war. Then there was chaos, and the entire world was in chaos. And it turned almost into a civil war. And then something happened with Iran. It was on CNN. It was a nuclear thing. And then some other things happened. It led to 6.2 billion people dying. So when I saw him come up to the escalators, I'm like, that's the guy, because I never watched Trump. I just knew he was a casino guy. I thought he had a show or something. I didn't watch any TV for like 10 years or 15 years. So I'm like, that's the guy. He's going to win. He's going to become president. And everyone's like, oh, no, he's not. Even I have conservative friends and liberal friends. And the conservative devout Christians are like, you're nuts, Sarah. She's not. I'm like, just watch. And then he became president. So I'm like, well, the attacks on him was preventing him to do what he wanted to do, was recover a nation and counter China. And I didn't understand that because my vision wasn't that clear. It just showed the main actors and what happens to the world, and then boom, boom, a lot of people died. But as things were playing, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm actually investigating these companies. I'm not putting my thoughts into it. They're actually showing me the same results. Now let me run simulations. I run simulations, and every simulation came to the same results, which showed a destined path for most people in the world to be extinct in stages. But I put out a movie called AI, The Plan to Invade Humanity. And it's sort of a sci-fi movie, but you can take it how you like. I put solutions in there. I mean, solutions are very sophisticated, but I put general ones in there. And it doesn't have to be that way. But here's the problem. You asked a question about 12 minutes ago. And that had to do with why weren't people listening? Why weren't listening to my message? Because people need to become selfless, not selfish. Every person either slandered me or they plagiarized my work and didn't cite my work and stole from me. And I'm trying to help them, and they're stealing from me. Not just media outlets, content creators, intel groups, wherever it was. They just hear something that's like, wow, I've never heard this before. And they'll go on their channel and they'll start saying it. Or they'll go get contracts. And I'm working 18, 20 hours a day. I'm like, on the behalf, in my mind, right, on behalf of the world's people, I'm like, please listen to me. Your lives are in danger. And they're just ignoring me or stealing from me. One of those two. And even even conservatives who are saying that they're being censored, they stole from me. Even my 5G with the COVID stuff, big guys, plagiarized it and didn't really understand the way I said it and messed it up. So, COVID doesn't cause 5G. It's very, very simple. 5G system, I put out a video called, is it made for humans, machines, or AI? It's very, very simple. It's made for machines to mobilize drones, robotics, microbots, cybernetic soldiers, bioengineered people or entities, or even flying cars. And it goes to 6G and so on. Transhumanism. So that 5G system, the towers have to be really close and to you. So it's not made for human bodies to take. what it does is it hits your nervous system, even your skin, it seeps through it. It damages your cells. So it reduces your immunity to any kind of disease. Forget COVID. It could be the virus. Your immunity will be reduced. You could have a vaccine from 30 years ago. Once your immunity is reduced and your cells divide because they've morphed because of the frequency and the radiation you're getting on the 5G network, as you interplay with these smartphones and the towers and the Internet of Things, those vaccines can actually replicate in your body. They were there to protect you maybe before, maybe they're positive for you or negative. I'm not sure. I'm neutral to them. I'm not for vaccines or against them. Be as you wish. Whoever would like a vaccine, take it. Whoever doesn't, don't take it. But this is what the 5G system does. It's not made for humans. It is made for machines. Therefore, it's not healthy for you. It's good for military. It's designed for military. It's designed for us to even develop things that go to different solar systems with quantum technology. But what it really does is lower your immunity and cause your cells to divide as well. So having these 5G towers around you can, if you have COVID, you have the virus, you've been exposed to it, can cause you to reduce your immunity and be affected by that.
So let me ask you this. Is this why the trees all over the world are being caught? And people are reporting that their streets are just being wiped from all trees, and every other house there's a 5G tower installed in a pole or what have you. And then you have the immunosuppressing part of 5G. Is this a byproduct of 5G unintended, or is it intended as part of this technology?
Well, I think it's a combination of both, right? So some companies want to get rid of some things, right? And they mow it out and they get rid of everything. But 5G even hurts the bee colonies, right? So there's a company I investigated called Festo and the WIS Institute. The WIS Institute makes robo-bees. So it's like bees are going to die and they're going to replace them with robo-bees from WIS Institute. You're engineering robots everywhere. So it's like, that's why I put AI, the plan to invade humanity. It's a movie. It only has 15,000 views. It should have 150 billion views. Every person on the planet should have watched it like 20 times already, because it shows you like it's like almost an invasion. If it's not an alien invasion, it's us invading ourselves. Like we're killing off our planetary system. We're killing off our food supply, our animals, our trees, and replacing it with machines. And then they're going to make us into machines or merge with AI. So that's what Elon Musk and these big tech guys want to do. They want to merge people with artificial intelligence. They think they'll live forever. But I completely disagree with them. I think Elon's not very smart at all. He's actually unwise. He said that we are summoning the demons. That's what he said with AI. We must put a stop to this. And then a year later, he's like, oh, it's too late. For us to survive, we have to merge artificial intelligence. And that tells you his thinking, right? So he wants to merge with AI. And these scientists, some of them believe we have a consciousness. Most of them don't believe. They just think we have brains and may have a digital image, and you can take your memory and put it into another body, and it's all you. But here's the thing. They can't see past the level of molecules. They can only see atoms at its point, at its plane. So if you go beyond its plane of existence, neutrinos and quarks and so on, where is your actual soul? Or your spirit, or your real consciousness, or your digital self, how you want to look at it, right? So if you want to take something out of a body and put it somewhere else with a memory, you can put the memory out there and a digital self that matches it. But what happened to that soul? So can you touch that? You cannot. Can you touch the spirit? You cannot. Can you touch the consciousness? Can you even verify it doesn't exist? You cannot verify this. You don't have the machines to do it. Some other people may have certain biometric tools. They will be able to do that. But that's not available for empirical scientists to have at the moment. So that's the key. He wants to merge. So once you merge, and he said, oh, AI can see us as insects and kill everybody. We hope it's benevolent. Well, if AI sees you as an insect and you want to merge with it, wouldn't it just replicate itself in your neural networks and nervous system and take you out? That's what I put in my video. So and that got Elon thinking, I think, because he does know of me, and he's anyway. I don't want to get too deep on that, but
no, we'll discuss Elon Musk in a moment, because sometimes I wonder in what side of the coin he is in. I think a lot of these people are fronts. Zuckerberg is a front. A lot of these, the two guys from Google were a front. They must have been supported by something behind the scenes, but we'll talk about that later. You mentioned the bee colony collapse. That's been happening for a couple of decades now. GMO bees is what they wanted to bring. Birds dropping out of the sky, whales, dolphins dying. Bill Gates even mentioning before how he wanted to, create GMO insects. So are we coming to a world in the future? And I was gonna leave this question for one of the last ones, but I'll ask you now. It seems to me that they want to replace carbon-based life forms with synthetic life forms. Am I close to the truth?
Yes, that's why I put that movie, AI, The Plan to Invade Humanity. I put in there that you're being extincted. You're being taken. Even your spirit, your soul is going to be taken out and replaced with artificial intelligence. It's a 58-minute video. I think is that the one you watched?
Loved it. But folks, stop right now and just listen for 1 second. Tell the name of the video. Once you're done with this interview, I want you to go watch that. Or if you want to stop this and watch the video and come back. It's a wonderful video. It explains from A to Z what we're discussing here. What was the title of the video again? AI,
The Plan to Invade Humanity. It's on YouTube and our website, theaiorganization.com, and our website on YouTube is actually The AI Organization. The name again is AI, The Plan to Invade Humanity, on the AI Organization YouTube channel.
And it seems that I spoke to Dr. Andrew Kaufman.
All right. I don't want to take too much. Wow. That was a lot. I think I'm going to leave it there. I'm not a big fan for too long of videos because I don't even watch them myself. It's like hour and a half, maybe a max, But wow. You know what? Actually, I'm not going to completely stop yet, but I'm going to finish this video, and I'm going to look for that movie later. Well, actually, you know what? Thank you for checking this out. Please share this everywhere. Copy. You can actually type into your search engine YouTube space MP3, and then hit enter, and you can find these sites where you can copy a YouTube URL and paste them and download the media from it. Okay, so spread that. We need to spread information. We have to spread information. They're censoring everything. So copy, keep them on hard drives, write books. This is a time to be writing a book. You know what I'm saying? If you have time, if you don't have a family, if this has got you fired up, copy and paste media and get the truth out there as you understand it in the moment, But let's not be aggressive. Let's just try to have empathy for everybody, and we're all in this together. But we got this. Well, I got faith in Jesus, so I ain't scared. I recommend, if you're tired of living in fear or anxiety or anything, just call on Jesus and just watch what happens. All right. Y'all have a wonderful existence.